up, YouTube? Thomas L here with the new film, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, out this week. Since the movie is directed by former Monty Python member Terry Gilliam, I decided to do my top 7 favorite Terry Gilliam movies. He's been in a couple films and all, but I'm mainly doing his directing stuff, like his directing credits. And he hasn't really directed a whole lot of movies I've seen who weren't a top 10 of, so I'm actually going to do top 7 instead. So, that being said, here's my list. Coming in at number 7 is The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Now, this is sadly was the final film that starred Heath Ledger. Now, Heath Ledger actually passed away during filming progress of this movie. But what happened is, he was still able to be in the movie. Like, his parts was able to still be kept in the film. But to finish up his parts, they actually had Johnny Depp, Colin Farrell, and I think Jude Law was to actually take Heath Ledger's place in a couple of scenes. And what I also liked about that is this might go off subject, and I probably mentioned this in my best Heath Ledger films. But what was also really good is when Johnny Depp, Colin Farrell, and Jude Law did that. They actually donated their earnings to Heath Ledger's families. So that's a real class act right there. Anyway, back to the movie. Now, Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, I gotta say, is completely an underrated gem. I thought it was a really good movie. I mean, you got Christopher Plummer, Andrew Garfield's in this, some really good cast members. Like, you even got Vernon Troyer in this. I mean, in it, Christopher Plummer plays a character named Dr. Parnassus, who's the leader of a traveling show, and he has a dark secret. And so, thousands of years ago, he traded the soul of his daughter, Valentina, to the devil. And so now the devil has come to collect his prize. And so Parnassus, in order to save her, Parnassus must make a final wager, and whoever collects the 5 souls first will win Valentina. And you got Heath Ledger as Tony, who plays a man who saved from hanging by Parnassus's tropes, agrees to help collect them with his eyes on marrying Valentina as well. I really dug this movie. I really liked the effects that was used. Christopher Plummer is great. Terry Gilliam did a good job at directing. I mean, he does fantasy well, and he did a really great job with this movie. And hard to believe, this film turns 10 years old this year. So, yeah, talk about feeling old. All right, coming in at number 6 will be the movie Brazil. Now, this film stars Jonathan Pryce, who's also in that Don Quixote, which opens this week, and it also stars Robert De Niro, and in it, Jonathan Pryce plays a character named Sam Lowry, who escaped from the monotony of his day life to beautiful damsel. And so, investigating a case that led to the wrongful arrest and eventual death of a innocent man instead of wanted terrorist Harry Tuttle, played by Robert De Niro. He meets the woman from his daydream, played by Kim Griss, and is trying to help her get caught in a web of mistakes, identities, mindless few other stuff, and lots of lies and all that. This is also a fantasy movie. I haven't seen this movie for a while, to be honest with you, but Brazil is, I really enjoyed it when I first saw it. Terry Gilliam directed this movie pretty well. Robert De Niro was great. Jonathan Pryce, I mean, how does he not have an Oscar on his mantle? It's beyond me. I mean, it was pretty interesting Robert De Niro in a film like this, because he's more like his films are more, gangster-esque and all. But it was pretty cool seeing De Niro take on a part like this, and he was pretty good here. I mean, the movie isn't like my favorite De Niro film or anything, but it was still a pretty decent one. And Terry Gilliam, like I said, he did a great job at directing, and the movie got released. Believe it or not, it got released in 1985 or 86. The movie doesn't really hold up as much today as it did back then, but it's still pretty decent little film. Coming in at number 5 is 12 Monkeys. Now, this film stars Bruce Willis as a man named James Cole who learns the hard way. After traveling back to Terminal, and so like he's in prison in the 2030s, and he's recruited for a mission that will send him back to the 1990s. Once there, he's supposed to gather information about a Nascent plot that's about to exterminate the vast majority of the world's population. But aside from the maniac Jeffrey, played by Brad Pitt, he gets like a little in the way of a corporation, and he also has help from a gatekeeper named Catherine Raleigh, played by Melanie Stowe. It's a really good sci-fi movie. Now, of course, there's like a TV show of it, which I've seen, which I don't really care much for. I know lots of people like the TV show 12 Monkeys, but I really can't get into that one, to be honest with you. But the movie is really great. It's a really cool time travel film. Brad Pitt he was crazy in this movie. Bruce Willis was actually he was actually trying in this movie. I mean, Bruce Willis gave a pretty good performance here right now. So if you guys never seen the 12 Monkeys movies, check it out. It's another really good Terry Gilliam film. Coming in at number 4 is The Fisher King. Now, the film stars Jeff Bridges as a jock named Lucas who provokes a caller into murdering a group of innocent people in a Manhattan bar. And so, like, he grows depressed and turns to being an alcoholic. And so, as he hits rock bottom, he ends up meeting a homeless man named Perry, played by Robert Williams, whose wife was killed by the caller. Lucas actually pushed to brink. And so, like, pretty much he like Robert Williams' Perry character spends his day searching for the Holy Grail. And so like Lucas of course ends up feeling really sorry for what he did, and there's like a friendship that grows between the two. I mean, Robert Williams, that it shows how much of a great actor that guy was. He could do comedy. Robert Williams could do drama. He could do it all, and he was great in this movie. Jeff Bridges gave an amazing performance here. Like the chemistry between both Bridges and Williams really sells this movie. Really good little film. I mean, I believe the movie got released in like late 1980s. It's a really decent little film. Coming in at number 3 is Time Bandits. Now, there's actually a TV show of this in the works. Time Bandits is a really interesting film. It stars this actor named Craig Warnock as a young history buff named Kevin, who secretly, I believe it was, who actually go back to he actually goes back to time, and like it's pretty much a like a coming of age adventure film where Craig Warnock can secretly believe it when six like he cannot believe it because six dwarfs emerged from his closet one night, and former employees of the supreme being named Ralph Richardson. And so, like, they prolong a map charting all the holes in the fabric of time, and are using it to steal treasures and all from different historical eras. And so you got like different historical characters in this, like Napoleon, played by Ian Holm, Robin Hood, played by John Cleese, King Agamemnon, played by Sean Connery. I mean, this is a really interesting movie, and it was pretty cool seeing a character like a lead character interacting with historical figures, and I think that was pretty cool to watch. And I mean, John Cleese, him as Robin Hood is probably one of my favorite incarnations of Robin Hood. John Cleese was great in this, and I'm actually interested in seeing that TV show that they're playing for this. I think that should be interesting to watch. Coming in at number 2 is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Now, I've been talking about this movie for a while. It's based on a book by Hunter S. Thompson, and it's pretty much like a road trip film that stars Johnny Depp, who plays a character named Raul Duke, who him and his attorney named Dr. Gonzo, played by Benicio del Toro, drive a red convertible across the Mojave Desert to Las Vegas with And so, like with a suitcase full of drugs, to cover a motorcycle race. And so, like as their conspiration, as their conspiration of drugs increases at a alarming rate, the duo trash a hotel room and fear and stuff like that, and there's like a cop that's actually on their trail. The cop is played by Gary Busey, by the way. The movie was also had Cameron Diaz in it. It's a really decent little film. I mean, Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro, they were both great here. Like they had really good chemistry with one another. Cameron Diaz was decent. Gary Busey stole lots of scenes here. I mean, this movie was, I guess, you say, more of a dark comedy. It's a comedy, but it has like some dark humor in it. It's a really decent one, and Terry Gillam, he could do comedy really well when he wants to. And really, the movie didn't even feel like a Terry Gilliam film for some reason. But other than that, it was still a really decent film. And my number one favorite Terry Gilliam film is no surprise. My number one pick is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I mean, to me, this is probably the best incarnation of King Arthur we've ever had. Of course, there's been like other King Arthur takes. Like there was that Kid Who Will Be King. There's that terrible Guy Ritchie film. There's a few other stuff like The Sword and the Stone, but this is my favorite King Arthur movie we've ever gotten. And of course, this was the Mighty like the first major film featuring the Mighty Python gang. Of course, the Mighty Pythons included Michael Palin, John Cleese, the aforementioned Terry Gilliam, uh, Eric Idle. The Mighty Python they're a great group of trios, and they're of course comic legends in their own part. They were all like those guys have really good chemistry with one another, and they did a great job with this film. I mean, this is also probably my favorite Mighty Python movie as well. There's been other few Mighty Python films. There was also Life of Brian, which wasn't directed by Terry Gilliam, but he appeared in it. Life of Brian was directed by Michael Palin, who was also a Mighty Python member. So, but this is, of course, the best Mighty Python movie we've gotten. It's really great. It's really funny. It has some really quotable lines here. It's a classic, and it got released in early 1980s, and it's a movie that still holds up today. It's really great. If you guys never seen Mighty Python and the Holy Grail, or if you've never seen any of the Mighty Pythons, period, check them out. I think you'll appreciate them. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. Number 7, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. 6, Brazil. 5, 12 Monkeys. 4, The Fisher King. 3, Time Bandits. 2, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. 1, Mighty Python and the Holy Grail. Let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Terry Gilliam movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas Ellis signing off.